Folks, I'm getting hungry, and you know my favorite part of any meal, snack, or game day app? That's right. The GOAT, or should I say the greatest of all time, Frank's Red Hot. It's got the perfect blend of flavor and heat that elevates all foods, from wings to buffalo chicken dip to even ice cream. That's right, I said ice cream. And with a roster of flavors, from OG to sweet chili, you can put that shit on everything. So make every dish the greatest and eat the GOAT.
At Sierra, discover top workout gear at incredible prices, which might lead to another discovery. Your headphones haven't been connected this whole time. Awkward. Discover top brands at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
Ready to relax in your dream bath retreat without the stress of figuring out every detail yourself? At the Home Depot, your bath remodel is covered. Shop fully designed rooms and curated bath collections to go from inspiration to transformation fast. Use digital tools to visualize flooring in your space and find everything you need, from tubs to toilets and all the tile in between, to bring your vision to life. The Home Depot. Dream baths built here.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Monday is a company holiday and it is a country holiday, and we are doing 2 4-hour live shows. We are doing a show in the morning. What are you laughing about, Roy?
Which country are you talking about, Dan?
Well, Martin Luther King Day is a national holiday.
You would think so.
Not for long.
Well, I wanted it to be for this company as well, but now I am doing, and we are doing 2 4-hour shows, one in the morning and one live streaming at night. I hope Domonique stops by. I hope a lot of our friends stop by. I've told you guys here recently that there are a handful of people that are doing football exactly the way that I want to listen to the content, the nutrients and the entertainment. Chris Long, Chris Sims, Mina Kimes, and Domonique. Domonique is popping up right through the Super Bowl, after the games on Sunday night, on his YouTube channel, right after Rams and Bears end Sunday night, and he's going to do that every Sunday night for the rest of the season. It's hard to do that live, and he does it exceptionally well. He is joining us now, and the first thing I wanted to start with him on is I just wanted to play him that Sean Payton sound and just get his thoughts on Sean Payton, who's back at the top of his game. Sean Payton ain't got no time for reporters.
Charlotte having green linebacker this game, his ability to attack downhill and in the run game, just how big is that and the timing of it?
You want him to attack downhill? Is that your, like, what do you know about attacking downhill in the run game? You don't know. All right, that's right. Have him attacking downhill. It's good to have a healthy Dre Greenlaw back in the game. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of love it. Like, I'm normally, so Charlie, my co-host, gives me a hard time because he, like, calls me Captain Empathy because I, like, start feeling sorry for people all the time, no matter what. In that case, I would understand why somebody might feel sorry for that reporter, but I don't. Like, Sean Payton just gave him the perfect opportunity. Like, if you are prepared for that, obviously some of us, or all of us, in certain situations do a little bit of, like, fraudulent, like, use terminology to try to sound more interesting and important than we are. But right there, that is an alley-oop. They never ask you a question. He gets a chance to demonstrate his ball knowledge. But instead of doing that, he shriveled up and we all laugh at him and call Sean Payton a bully.
Well, he's not wrong when he knows a great deal more than all of us about attacking downfield, but physically he doesn't. Like, he doesn't know more about attacking downfield than you do.
Well, I mean, he said attacking downhill. We're talking about, like, Dre Greenlaw, linebacker. Not downfield. That would be throwing a deep pass. He's attacking downhill. Like, I know you to be, like, a fraudulent Canes fan. I don't know you to be a fraudulent football guy. Like, I thought you knew ball. The man said downhill, and he was talking about a linebacker. We're talking about fitting gaps, baby. Taking on fullbacks and shit like that.
All I heard was his arrogance. And I just love when the coaches are arrogant about physicality when they're not the physical ones.
I mean, game recognized game, right? I like that sweater though. It's cute.
You look a little bit like my father. Are you going Are you going for my father's look fashion wise?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, just generally, like, isn't the whole country like going very Miami vibes? Like, although picking, I mean, there's so many different Miamis. And like growing up, like University of Miami football was like the biggest representation of Miami outside of like Scarface for me. And becoming older and understanding what the University of Miami is actually like always kind of rubbed me a little bit the wrong way, because you're rooting hard for like the brash black kids who have interesting stories and dreadlocks and are like being overconfident and taking on the Catholics. Like you're rooting for that. And then you want them to win. Then you realize the people at the school don't really love them in the way that we love them. And nobody else at the school is like that. It reminds me a little bit of like Georgetown. I live down the street from Georgetown now. And I think that's always like a running joke that all of us thought Georgetown was HBCU because of John Thompson and all the black players on their team. And then you go on that campus and you're like, they are the only black people here. And they got kente cloth on their shorts. Miami's the same thing. Like what Miami represent, what the rest of the world thought of Miami was like Edgerrin James and Warren Sapp, Michael Irvin. That's what Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. That's what we thought Miami was. I mean, Jeremy Shockey. That's us. That's we're looking at Miami. That's Miami. And then, it's actually a bunch of Jeremys. Not Shockey, the other one.
Since you're in both places, which one is more disparate? Miami's football team and Miami's campus, or Dikembe Mutombo, John Thompson, Allen Iverson, and Alonzo Mourning representing Georgetown?
It's easy. It's obviously Georgetown, because Georgetown had like not just the black players, but they had the black coach who was very aggressively and publicly black and made it part of his mission. Like the kente cloth, that's just so absurd. They had uniforms that had African prints on them. It has Georgetown. If you don't know anything about Georgetown, look it up, man. It is not at all like the campus was built by slaves. And then they had all these basketball players show up and not get paid to work really hard to make a lot of money and make that place even more impressive than it actually is. But I think they tried to like give some money back or something. They're trying to make amends. Is Miami doing that? Miami taking care of all these Miami neighborhoods that they get their best athletes out of? I don't know.
You do know.
So, you show Mike.
You do know.
Well done.
That's not fair. You're asking Mike for reparations? Like what? How is that fair?
I'm not asking anyone for reparations. I know the University of Miami, and this happened. It happened at Maryland. When I was there, the basketball team was winning national championships, and we were winning conference championships and getting blown out in the Orange Bowl and dominating Tennessee in the Peach Bowl. And you know that it's a lot easier to get money from the state. It's a lot easier to raise money from boosters, and it's a lot easier to make renovations. And I went to a public school, so all that stuff is harder to get done. It's easier when people think you're cool and you're good at stuff. So like everyone who's benefiting from the University of Miami playing well is not all. Just make sure you look out for them too, which I guess they're getting paid now. So that's cool. Shout out Malaki.
We have a number of different things and people and personality here that are weird. And I hope you haven't heard this sound. You listen to our show, so it might undermine it. But
not this week. I don't listen this week.
Well, you just have a lot going on. So good.
No,
so tell me.
I don't listen this week because too many guests. And I don't want to be one of those guests. I don't like all these guests. I wanted you guys to talk and say stuff. Come on, Zaz, be funny.
So play this.
Saying stuff, player.
Play this sound.
We just talked about appropriation. How you going to throw player out there while dressed like a Cuban when you are none of that?
Well, what's the problem?
How you love that?
What's the problem?
It's uncomfortable. Dan loves uncomfortable. Now I know where the sweet spot. Dan loves where to get a little tension, baby.
What you know about looking awesome?
Nothing, man. I don't know nothing about looking awesome. You do look great. You look like a movie villain. Like a cheap movie, though. This is not a lot of money put into this movie. You do look like a low-level crime boss.
That is such a good call from Domonique, that you do look like a great criminal for a movie that has no budget to get a good criminal.
It feels like if there was like a movie where the kids were like the unlikely heroes, kind of like Spy Kids or like Three Ninjas. Like you look like a villain that's supposed to look scary, but kind of friendly, like really threatening to like 8-year-olds. Like that guy right there, we can't trust him. He's the bad guy. Spy Kids 8.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Does Zaz look like the villain from a student film? I want to play this sound for you, and I want you to guess who it is. There's been, I promise you, no doctoring whatsoever to the sound. I'm not making this up. This is someone in our universe who was caught while sleeping.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's an incredible deep snore from an obviously overweight man, which there are a few of them that we can choose from on this show. I'm not sure who I would point to, but one of them, I don't know, it could be in the studio maybe.
Let's play it. I want to keep playing until he gets it right. So play it for him and let him take guesses, and let's do it that way.
Roy looks like he can sleep pretty good, man. Roy is like a strong sleeper.
I'm going to do this with you until you get it, so go ahead and pick. Go ahead.
All right. Dan. It's Dan.
It is not. Incorrect.
It's fake Dan.
It is not. It's not Danny Benitez.
Zaslow.
Stunt Dan. It is not a bad villain from a student movie. No, incorrect.
It's definitely not Mike. Mike would never be called like that. Is it Billy? Where's Billy?
Incorrect.
Anybody seen Billy? Where's Billy at? Huh?
Incorrect.
Oh, that has got to be Stuggy. That's my man Stugotz. Where's Stu?
Incorrect.
Anybody seen Stu?
Incorrect.
You up in there anywhere? No? Is it Jess? It's Jess. That's what
Look how shocked he was. He was absolutely, he looked into the camera. He's like, that can't be right.
I was just doing a bit. I was just gonna name all the people who used to be on the show more often and aren't anymore. That's what I was doing. I just got lucky.
What do you mean?
He would have guessed for 10 weeks straight before he got it if he had to get it right.
Hawk? No, not.
The games this weekend, Domonique, you were very loud about saying the Jags were clearly better than the Bills and would clearly beat the Bills, and I thought that you were right until you were wrong.
Yeah, I mean, the Bills dunked on me, and they deserve it. Congratulations. I still, which this feels like a Dan Le Batard move, but it's also true that I still kind of feel like I watched that game, and the Bills were not actually better, even though they won, but they certainly deserve it. They got the job done. They have like it's a lot of smoke and mirrors on their defense with disguises, which is super impressive. I think McDermott deserves a bunch of credit for what he's done on that side. And Josh Allen played a different type of awesome playoff game where it wasn't like the amazing plays as much as it was just mistake-free and mature. And that team deserved the win, and they won. I was dead ass wrong, though, about them not being able to compete with the Jags because I thought the Jags were good. I got fooled. I started believing the hype like Tony. But I think...
And like me, Domonique, I've managed, this is really hard to do, on two teams this year, to be totally right about them and wrong twice about them because of how the result went. So Jacksonville and the Chiefs, I got it right with what I was saying at the beginning, and then I changed my mind and I trusted your analysis on the Chiefs, and I trusted your analysis on the Jags.
Yeah. Don't do that. I mean, stop trusting my analysis on anything. Trust your own analysis. I mean, the Jags won like 8, 9 in a row, and they went into Denver, and I think that was the turning point for me when I was like, all right, I have to ignore the fact that they're the Jacksonville Jaguars and understand that, like, before the Patriots became the Patriots, they were terrible all the time, too. There can be a turning point for a team, and I watched them go into Denver and destroy that very good Broncos defense, and you saw Trevor Lawrence play awesomely, and I think that was the point where I was like, all right, got to take them seriously. And they played well after that. And then they played a team that was very flawed, but had the high-profile quarterback, and I was like, this is a perfect opportunity for, like, a look at us, we're really here now moment. Like I had at home, and I thought it was going to work, and they ran the hell out of the ball. They couldn't stop him from running the ball. And honestly, like a lot of people's criticism is they should have kept running the ball, but they were moving the ball through the air too. They really couldn't stop them, but got an interception in the game, and it cost them at the end. And I just think it's also fickle, and you'll see that with any of these teams. When we do these coaching decision things, you can go down the track record. I was thinking about this the other day with John Harbaugh, how if Lamar Jackson doesn't slide to the back of the draft that year and they aren't able to trade back in and get Lamar Jackson, John Harbaugh's fired then. Then Lamar comes in and wins 6 in a row and gets John Harbaugh 7 more years. And you can do this for every team. There's like these little single plays that change the trajectory. You could do it for Miami in that A&M game where it's like they won on the final drive, and A&M was 5 yards from sending it to overtime. They only put up 10 points in that game. We have a whole different conversation about Mario Cristobal right now, deservedly so or not, if that doesn't turn out the way it does. But now, like, Cristobal could get a contract for $1 zillion into eternity because of what he's done with this program, no matter what happens with the game. And you could do that for all these teams. But those moments matter. When you have a player like Josh Allen, those moments fall on your side more than they don't. And I hate to tush push. That was also get that out of here.
Hello, listeners. You know that I live in Miami, which means my idea of quote unquote winter is just putting on a hoodie or a cardigan and acting like I've suffered. But every time that I travel somewhere that's actually cold, I'm reminded that my wardrobe is completely and utterly unprepared. But that right there is where Quince comes in. I also realized that if I'm going to be on camera for broadcast gigs, I probably shouldn't look like I just grabbed whatever was closest to the door. Quince makes clothes that deliver premium materials, thoughtful design, and pieces that hold up season after season after season after season. And particularly with Quince, their outerwear has been the thing that's especially impressed me. Those down jackets, wool coats, Italian leather, and folks, that cashmere sweater, ridiculously soft, looks great, and somehow doesn't cost what you'd expect. Trust me, I am the only one on this show who actually dresses to impress, and Quince is what's now helping me do it. Refresh your winter wardrobe with Quince. Go to quince.com/Dan for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/Dan. Free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Dan.
All right, kicking things off with Smirnoff, the official vodka sponsor of the NFL and the number one vodka in the world. Chris Cody, you're here.
Smirnoff!
Wow, you're on the money with Smirnoff.
Smirnoff!
Chris, you know what goes great with Smirnoff?
Smirnoff!
Yes, but I'm really talking about game day fit. The style's got to match the vibe.
Smirnoff!
All right, here's the deal. Game day is everything, and that's exactly why your fit has to match the occasion.
Smirnoff!
Starting this December, Smirnoff is giving fans 21 and over the chance to score limited edition Smirnoff commission merchandise from some of today's top creators, including Kayla Jones, Gavin Matthew, and Aleli May.
Smirnoff!
Here's the kicker. One lucky fan will take home the grand prize, a trip to the biggest game of the offseason. Plus, one fan will win Aleli May's one-of-one game day jacket.
Wow.
The merch will be dropped on select dates from December to January 21, and it's all courtesy of what brand?
Smirnoff!
That's right, Chris. Fans 21 and over can head to Smirnoff socials to learn how to sign up. And don't forget to grab a bottle of Smirnoff vodka, number 21 at your local retailer.
Smirnoff!
Please drink responsibly.
Smirnoff!
Number 21 vodka distilled from grain, 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please do not share with anybody under legal drinking age.
Smirnoff!
No purchase necessary. Must be legal U.S. resident, 21 or older. Sweepstakes starts 12/15/2025 at 12 a.m. Eastern and ends 1/23/2026 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. See official rules at program website.
Happy New Year, everybody. 2026 is already getting off to an incredible start because you want to know how I rang in the new year? It was with a bunch of friends in a Dallas hotel lobby bar ordering a bunch of Miller Lights because that's how you do it. That's how you make special memories. Miller Lite has been by my side at many special football memories this year, and hopefully we get to write a few more memories with Miller Lite. Some of my most legendary moments have started that exact same way. A buddy's house, a lobby bar, a game, no big plan. And then you crack open a Miller Lite, you take a sip, and you look around, and you immediately recognize that you made the right call. Legendary moments start with Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Dan Le Batard.
It's a Jets coach, sweetie.
Stugotz.
I should go say hello.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Domonique, you surprised with Tomlin?
That he stepped down. I think I am a little bit surprised, but I also think when you look back on this season, it felt like a last dance type of thing. They had that super old defense that they were paying a ton of money for, and then they went and got Aaron Rodgers, an old quarterback. It kind of felt like Tomlin's like, all right, I'm going to make this last try. And I know no one's reported that there's anything other than a mutual parting of ways. And the Rooney suggest that they were surprised by this, but that seems crazy to me. They kind of had to know that was coming, right? Like if you're Mike Tomlin, you coached there for 90 years, you don't just show up and say, I'm out. Like, this conversation had to be had at some point. They kept it under wraps. More credit to them.
Why would they not tell the truth about that? Why would the Rooneys lie about being surprised? Or why do you question that part of it? They don't want to be seen as pushing him out?
No, I'm not even sure that they pushed him out. He could have said at the beginning of the year, this is my last run, or they could have said that you have to go if we don't have any success at the end of the year. I don't think that. I think it's likely that he decided that he was on his way out. I just find it hard to believe that days after a 19-year career at that organization and a loss in the playoffs, he's just like, guess what? Y'all got to find a new coach today. It just feels odd to me. I guess it doesn't matter one way or the other. I do think Mike Tomlin walked away and they didn't fire him, but I hope the Steelers fans are ready for what's coming, and I think they are. I don't think they're fools. I think they know that it's going to get a little rough. My man Damashek, I'm a pro Damashek guy, though. I know we have to take sides on that. Pro Damashek.
Football America, every Monday and Friday, he also does an exceptional job covering football differently, the way that Domonique and Chris Long and Chris Sims and Mina do. Let's play this sound from comedian Dan Soder, childhood friend of Mike McDaniel. Listen carefully to Mark Normand and the way that he's pretending to support an interest in sports in the background.
But he'll get a gig, right? Somewhere else?
Absolutely. In fact, I think he's better off because I think, and listen to me right now, I think it's a shit organization. I think it's ran by an old that stabbed Mike in the back after he told him he was going to be all right for another season, and the Dolphins. And honestly, Miami as a comedy town. When having a friend that's an NFL coach, you listen more when people talk about your friend. And Troy Aikman shits on McDaniel in a way that I'm like, he doesn't like Mike.
Whoa.
And me and my friend Chad, who grew up with Mike, were like, Chad was the first one I was like, I bet Aikman had something to do with it. And then I was just like, Troy Aikman, looking like white Jay-Z, quarterback that was falling off. Tua stinks. But listen, I think McDaniel got fired because he tied himself to Tua and they lost. That's a sign of my friend being loyal. So, like, as a friend, I go, yeah, he's stuck with him. And I hope the next team he goes to, the quarterback goes, well, this guy's stuck with him, so I believe in him.
Yeah.
So I'll play for it. I just hope McDaniel goes and wins 10 Lombardi trophies and then shoves them up the owner of the Dolphins' asshole one at a time. And I hope the Dolphins never win another game.
Woo!
You're stupid. Your old logo's better. Your new logo looks like a penis jumping through a Nuva ring.
Hey.
Your fans don't know ball. A couple of them at the stadium, it was like crazy watching them not know when to cheer on third down.
Jesus Christ.
That whole organization.
I thought Mark Normand was funnier than Dan there, and I think Dan's the funniest.
And me and my friend...
Felt like the responses stopped matching up too. Like it was just like the things he was getting like more and more like progressively more intense responses to were not the things that were shocking. It felt like after he said we was gonna jam trophies up there, he was like, oh,
hey,
yeah. Then he said something else a little bit more benign. The fans don't know to cheer on third downs. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
That was delayed. That's for the shoving it up people's butt. That was when you should have Jesus Christ.
Picked a great day to bring Claire to the office.
You're stupid.
Damn.
Sorry, Claire. I mean, that's how I would be like Mark Normand if I were on the hockey show. Like I would be the best teammate I could, but I don't know what you talk about. I'm like, yeah.
Your thoughts on when you gave us some of what you find interesting about Harbaugh. What are your thoughts about McDaniel's firing and the fact that the Dolphins weren't able to even get close to anywhere with Harbaugh?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you talk to any of the owners, or excuse me, any of the coaches, they'll say that ownership is incredibly important. I don't know, like, what type of owner you guys have there in Ross, but it does seem
a bad
like
one,
a lousy one,
a bad one.
It seems like he's bad in a different way, though. Like, he's not bad in the way that I think most coaches are concerned. They're concerned about, like, commitment and resources and, like, patience, I guess, and understanding when things are happening and when they aren't, and like how involved you're going to be. They want the owners to be somewhat involved, but not the final decision maker. So like that's a big question. And I imagine that they talk just the same way that any of us do. And if you have enough leverage, you're not going to be one who's going to sign up for something like that. I think that's probably why it appears that Harbaugh is going to sign with the Giants, because that feels like an organization that, despite the fact that they haven't hired all that well, has a history of at least like staying out of the way. The ownership does, and that seems attractive to some of these teams. I think also having an owner who is going to be accused of some of the things that Ross has been accused of, like like trying to go behind his coach's back. Like that's, if you got other options, that's not somewhere you're going to go. And then on top of it, the story of him walking in and firing him, like while he has already promised that he's going to keep him around, like that stuff. If I were a coach with some sort of leverage, I'm not going to that place, or not going to work for that guy.
I have not heard the concussion stuff talked about the way that Darren Waller talked about it on Johnny Manziel's podcast. Listen to this and tell me what you think.
But I was watching most of the training camps. I'm on the sideline. I'm watching this man throw darts every practice, bro. Like, it was just like, what the am I watching? Like, I'd never seen the anticipation and the accuracy out there. So it's like, I think from my standpoint, the skill set for him is still there. Well, I think like maybe some of like the disconnect comes from like seeing it translate. I think there might be like there could be some like trauma still stored like in his body from like what he's gone through, like with the head injuries and stuff. Because there's this book called The Body Keeps the Score, which is like the #1 book about like trauma. And they talk about how trauma was first with like war veterans and like what they went through there. And like they'll come home and they'll see like a car sitting by itself in a grocery store parking lot, but they're in their body and their brain will tell them like that car has an explosive in it, when it's just like a car sitting at fucking Publix or something. And so I think like I can notice him like trying to make things happen like in the game, like he's trying to pull the trigger, but it's almost like his body and like his system won't
allow him to do it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like if there's a way for him to find some healing in that regard, I think the skill set is definitely still there, like you said.
Dom?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it's hard to like say that you know or believe something like that. I think that you can point to his experience and understand that there could be some issues as a result of the concussions, but like also like some of the concerns that he had were like concerns that some of the reasons why he's not playing well are concerns that were made about him at the beginning of his career. So like I'm in no position to evaluate how much trauma he's holding in his body and how that impacts the way that he plays. Like there are tons of players who've had plenty of trauma who go on to play just fine. And I'm sure there's plenty who have had minor issues that have sidetracked them altogether. Like it's super hard to say. I think more than anything, what you worry about for not just two, but all the players is like their future generally as a result of the hits to the head. Cause like, while those were really sensational hits that we saw and we remember, like the science doesn't necessarily support that those are any worse for you than like just the repeated fact that O linemen and D linemen bang heads together, have subconcussive episodes multiple times a game throughout the course of the game. So I understand that Waller's talking about a different thing. He's talking about like an emotional or mental response. He's not necessarily talking about the impact of like the deterioration of the brain from the tau protein that's in there as a result of like concussions. He's talking about just like, it's kind of scared, I guess, for lack of a better term, that he's like antsy because of how violent those experiences were. Like I certainly can't hazard a guess on that, but some of his poor play recently looks like some of his poor play early.
DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 sportsbook for live betting, is turning up the stakes this NFL playoffs. Every Sunday, every DraftKings customer has a shot at over $2.5 million in prizes. Holy moly. Here's how it works. Open the DraftKings Sportsbook app and opt in. Place a live bet of just $1 or more on Sunday's playoff games, and every live bet gives you another chance to win. The more you bet live, the more entries you stack, all Sunday long. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use code DAN. Bet live for your share of $2.5 million in prizes with code DAN. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. No purchase necessary. 3 sweepstakes with separate opt-ins. Minimum odds minus 500. Prizes, either bonus bets that expire in 7 days or single-use profit boost. See official rules at dkng.co/live-millions for entry period and free method of entry. Sponsored by Crown Gaming, Inc.
Dan Le Batard.
I took my son to the barbershop to get a haircut, and my man gave out some limp dap.
Oh, no.
Damn.
Stugotz.
I disowned him. I threw him right under the bus. I was like, whose kid is that out here dishing out limp dap?
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Let's speed him up.
Domonique, not a small thing. Sam Darnold, questionable with an oblique injury. This whole game hinges on him playing a clean game. Do you see this popping up its ugly head?
Yeah, I think Ginger Cuz, they're trying to protect him in all ways possible. They're not going to ask him to do any more than he has to. I think the 49ers defense is beat up to the point where I'm not sure that Sam Darnold's oblique injury is going to be an issue, and that Seahawks defense is insane.
Domonique, you know about that 12th man?
Yeah, I know about that 12th man. 12th man doesn't always matter, though, unfortunately. That team can lose at home. Honestly, that defense might look even better when they're on the road and they can communicate. But, yeah, the 12th man will certainly help.
Domonique, why does it seem that so many people are shying away from picking the
Hold
Broncos?
on. I'm sorry, Jeremy. Cut the music. My man Zaz has been having a rough-ass week. You don't get to say much. You get to stammering and stuttering, and you got a chance to ask a question. We're speeding up a guy like me who has real football information, and you said, you know about that 12th man?
Short and sweet, dog.
Okay. Yeah, I know about that 12th man. All right, get my music going again. Let's go back to these questions. I'm sorry, Jeremy.
It's all right. People don't really let me speak here. Domonique, why does it seem that so many people are shying away from picking the Broncos?
Yeah, I think we have this thing where the team that has a bye, we forget about them, and we also just saw Josh Allen play an incredible game. And I think it's fair to like sour on the Broncos a little bit because we think of this as a defensive-centered team, and their defense has fallen off in the last several weeks. It hasn't been as good as it was all season long. But with a week to prepare, I think Sean Payton's going to design some big plays for Bo Nix, and that's the other reason. Like, we ultimately always kind of fall back on how good is the quarterback for a good reason, and in that situation, you got Bo Nix versus Josh Allen. So I think that's part of the reason why people are sour on it. And it's a decent matchup for the Bills. They aren't outmatched in any way.
Faster.
Domonique, okay. Will the Bears season end on Sunday?
No. Yes.
What? No, or yeah? What?
He said faster?
Yeah, but he can't say no yes. And yes.
I say yes.
He can't say no and yes. You're asking him to be.
He quickly changed his mind.
Stafford's fingers.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, he's playing incredibly well this season. The cold doesn't matter. He's from that division. Historically, he's comfortable in that weather. I think that team will be just fine, and they run the hell out of the ball, so they're going to be fine. The finger's not going to matter.
Who should the Dolphins hire?
Brian Flores again. Bring him back. He was doing a good job.
Why is Matt Nagy getting so many interviews?
He's staying close enough to Patrick Mahomes. You're going to get a lot of love. But I do think retreads are not necessarily a bad thing. Like, it sounds like a bad word, but it does mean that you've had some experience and you've gone away to understand what you've done wrong and how you could come back and maybe do a better job.
Is C.J. Stroud any good?
Yeah, C.J. Stroud in that game is an absurd thing to watch. C.J. Stroud has incredible throws in that game. If you take out the 5 ridiculous fumbles, he's playing great. I know how stupid that sounds.
You can't say that.
Pretty stupid.
No, I can't say if you take out the 5 ridiculous fumbles. You can't say if you take out the gunshot Abraham Lincoln really enjoyed the play.
I mean, that's a fair point. However, the point is, most players who have 5 ridiculous fumbles also throw interceptions and miss open targets. Like, you watch C.J. Stroud and you're like, damn, that's a good throw. Like 4 or 5 times in that game, you're like, damn, that's a good throw. That's a good job navigating a pocket. And then he just holds it to the ball too long and tries to make a pass he can't make.
Will Mike McDaniel ever be a head coach again?
Yeah, he'll definitely be a head coach again. I think his ability to design a running game, no matter who he has, is going to make him a attractive offensive coordinator once again, and someone will give him another shot.
We mentioned C.J. Stroud, but the Texans' defense, are they going to take out the Patriots?
Oh, that Texas defense is insane. I think the question is, can Drake May hit deep passes against that defense? As good as it is, it's like middle of the pack for stopping the explosive plays. So that's the question. I think that defense is, if that defense was like the Cowboys defense or like a more marquee team, like we'd be losing our minds for how good and how fun that defense is to watch.
Yes or no, Drake May is the league's best deep passer?
This year, yes.
I have a Drake May stat for you. Drake May, this is courtesy of Ian Harretts. Drake May is second in the NFL in EPA per dropback when working from a clean pocket. But when you can pressure him, he is also second.
Yeah, he's still second, but that second is worse. It's not as if his play doesn't fall off. The play falls off. It just still keeps him at the top. Like his ability, I think, to navigate inside the pocket and also his ability to turn those pressures into explosive runs really help him in this game. But going up against the Texans, it might be a little tougher because they do this cool thing where they just collapse the whole pocket around you and there's nowhere to go. Or they'll beat you around the edge and no one's really ever open. Those corners are special.
He is live on Sunday, right after the Rams and Bears, and Sunday every week the rest of the season on YouTube. It's the Charlie Kravitz Show with Domonique Foxworth. Thank you, Domonique.
Dan, we need a pick on this game before he gets out of here.
Miami or Indiana, come on. Pick, Miami or Indiana, from the guy who just brought you no, yes.
I'm definitely going to go with Miami. I mean, I feel like I'm a part of the show in some ways. Like, I love Miami, and I got so much more, Dan. At some point, I'm going to send you some notes. I got ideas for segments for your show, all right?
All right, well, join us on Monday. We're doing 2 shows on Monday. We're doing a live stream. We're going to be here all day on Monday having fun. Domonique.
Never mind. I want Indiana. Change my mind.
It's good to see you. Okay, there he goes again, changing his mind.
No yes.
Another no yes. Look at the look on his face there when he saw that was indeed right, that it was Jessica who was snoring that way. That is the face of a shocked person. Now, he said that's also the face that he made when Harbaugh was let go, because he said he was shocked and not surprised. This looks like shocked and surprised. This is Domonique Foxworth learning that Jessica snores like a lumberjack who's been working 7 days without sleep.
How did you guys get that audio? Like, what was, did she fall asleep while on the Zoom? What happened?
Lehman betrayed her. Her boyfriend betrayed her. Did she fall asleep like that on the Zoom? You think that's how hard we're working them at Metal Arc Media?
She fall into a deep slumber while working.
I tried to think of the way that you guys could get that did not feel like a crime. That was honestly, I was like, how do you get someone snoring like that without committing a felony? So I thought maybe she, I don't know, had a long night.
See you later, Domonique. Again, the Charlie Kravitz Show with Domonique Foxworth on YouTube /ESPN, youtube.com/ESPN Sunday nights. I saw during that segment the complaint that Domonique had that some of our fans do, where they're like, I don't want guests. I don't want to listen to guests. I want to listen to the show. And what I noticed during that, that's a knock on the door. That was very loud. Another friend of the show is here, Nick Wright. Who do you got between Miami and Indiana?
I like Miami plus the points. I like Miami on the money line. I like the fact that Miami, a couple weeks ago, played a team damn near identical in talent to Indiana and Ohio State and controlled the whole game and won. I think Miami wins their national championship at home, and Mike Ryan becomes the most insufferable person in sports.
Second most.
The thing that I was beginning to say is that Mike Ryan clearly wasn't listening to anything that Domonique was doing, because I saw him the entire time. He was just refreshing Kane's Insight for new information. I was watching him. All he's doing is University of Miami stuff. So when anyone around here is talking about anything that's not University of Miami related, he has zero interest in doing his job, doing the show, paying attention. What did you learn? You learned that Indiana's right tackle is a problem, correct?
Yeah, that's a weak spot that you can attack. Miami's played a couple of teams that are really good at picking off the opponent. Notre Dame, but they had a new DC at the time. Miami played a relatively clean game against Notre Dame. But SMU and Louisville, they can turn the quarterback over. Now, Miami is playing a bit of a different style. They're doing work in the middle of the field. However, Indiana has neutralized teams in the middle of the field. I think this is a great matchup. I think it's going to be a really close game. I'm a little worried about that. I'm more concerned right now about how the portal's going for Miami because this was not how it was supposed to go. So I think anytime you're playing for a national championship, you really want to win it. But I think you got special players right now on defense. I don't know if Miami can develop players to that level. I think Miami's probably going to take a step back next year from an overall talent perspective. And if you don't have that quarterback position addressed, you may very well finally win an ACC, but you may not have the same kind of CFP success that you're having right now. So I really want to win on Monday.
Obviously, you have skin in the game now, all right? But 23 years ago, the last time the Canes were in the national championship, did you care emotionally like this?
I mean, I was devastated after we lost. Yeah, the Miami Hurricanes were my favorite team back then, but this is something different. If this ends with Miami and probably lifting the national title, yeah, it's the greatest sports victory in my life. I care. I care too much probably, but
no, but you still cared very, very much.
Yeah, okay. I feel like you have a very small hand in it, in kind of trying to make people realize that the standard wasn't adhered to.
Not that small. You've invested in all the ways that a business person and a fan can invest, and lest we lose sight of perspective, because we've never done what we've done this week, where we do a week of pregame. For 20 years, we've prided ourselves on we don't preview shows, and the reason that we're doing it is because of the size of this game. And do not let it obscure that no matter what happens from here, the University of Miami has already had a tremendously successful season that has fixed everything that was wrong. That doesn't mean that the transfer portal will not hurt them next year, but all of the questions and critiques that have been formed around this show have been rebutted by the last 3 games, this coach and this team. And the other thing that's in play here, this was also in play in 2001 as Miami tried to distance itself from some parts of its past that were more polarizing. It's fine if you don't think Miami is Cinderella. It's fine if you don't believe in an underdog story. But you simply cannot say that there's anything about this team other than maybe the polarization of Carson Beck that I don't totally understand, that's unlikable about this Miami team. There's nothing that this Miami team has done, nothing. Like, you don't have anything reputationally that you can stick this Miami team that would make it representative of some of the worst parts of Miami's program and city stereotypical past. This is a likable football team.
I'm not so sure, because you sample how the nation talks about this team, and I think, look, in this sport, 10 seeds. I know there's a playoff expansion that hasn't allowed for it, but teams that have faced the kind of adversity and defeats that Miami has endured this season, they don't get an opportunity to play for these. It's a hugely improbable story, even though they are a program that is rich with tradition. This should be talked about as one of the great Cinderellas of all time, and yet they're facing one of the losingest programs of all time. This is, if you want to tell me the world is a simulation, you look at this title game and you see Cubans everywhere in a sport that never features Cubans, it being played in Miami somehow being in it when they were, as Chris Fowler mentioned, 100-1 before a committee said, all right, we're going to change our minds on head-to-head mattering, and Indiana being in it. This is insanity. It is pinch me type of stuff, and I hope that the game lives up to it. And I think the playing styles of the two teams does lend itself to being one of those super dramatic games, not super easy on the eyes, not points galore, but the game literally hanging in the balance on every snap. And I think that's an amazing place to live in.
Dan, you know about that nail butter?
I do. Zaslow, you know about that broadcaster who doesn't say things correctly?
Didn't you want to know how that, what were the kids doing?
I think I'd be into this game if it wasn't my team playing in it. If you just put in another helmet that had the same kind of adversity, that had the same kind of 20 years of struggling, like if you put USC in there, I think I'd be as up for it because it's such a great story.
Sounds like the Roadrunner trying to start running.
Folks, let me say before we go, we want your boldest take of the week. The hotter, the worse, the better. Call 305-486-GOTS. We want your boldest take.
Happy New Year, everybody. 2026 is already getting off to an incredible start because you want to know how I rang in the new year? It was with a bunch of friends in a Dallas hotel lobby bar ordering a bunch of Miller Lights because that's how you do it. That's how you make special memories. Miller Lite has been by my side at many special football memories this year, and hopefully we get to write a few more memories with Miller Lite. Some of my most legendary moments have started that exact same way. A buddy's house, a lobby bar, a game, no big plan. And then you crack open a Miller Lite, you take a sip, and you look around, and you immediately recognize that you made the right call. Legendary moments start with Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.